I don't know if they go hand in hand or whatever. I think they just, they did a good job offensively in those stretches and made some good plays, made some tough shots. It is what it is.
You saw in the fourth quarter, I mean, the team making defensive stops, not so much Luke getting. What's kind of the difference as far as?
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why we play so well, late in the games defensively as opposed to the first, 3 quarters. I know in the fourth quarter we did a really good job of getting back on defense. It's not like we made any more shots than we did in the first 3 quarters, but I think we did a better job keeping them in half court.
What was behind that tweet? Was that self-doubt?
You read it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Everybody has it. I'm human just like everybody else. But I think the way I react to it is probably a little different than everybody else. I don't feed into it. I don't capitulate to it. I'm able to face it and I'm able to deal with it. I'm able to go through it. I think that's probably the difference between myself and other people. But I think Twitter's a good platform. At least for me, I think the fun thing about Twitter and also the thing that's probably the hardest to do for some people is to be transparent and have a certain level of transparency to be able to voice those things. A lot of people go through that stuff. I think it's just the way I deal with it might be a little different than everybody else.
Did you see Iguodala's tweet?
No.
He said, 2 years my ass.
No. Thank you, but no.
So are you ready for every time you tweet something, people ask you about it? Have you break it down for like?
No, I think after a while people become desensitized to it to a certain extent. I think right now it's that might have seemed like a big revelation to everybody. But if you really think about it, everybody's had self-doubt. I mean, it's not the first time I've had those. Starting back to my rookie year, whether or not I was going to make it in this league. But like I said, I think the way that I go about dealing with it is, not to capitulate to those doubts, but to face them, to embrace them, and to approach them as challenges. And I think on social platforms, it's a good place to kind of voice that and to hopefully inspire others to do the same.
That element of self-doubt, how do you think just the team as a whole is kind of responding to it?
I think it's good for him, especially for him to know that I have those moments as well. I'm sure they've had them, and I don't know how they respond to them. In certain instances, maybe they kind of let the self-doubt get the best of them, and I refuse to let that happen. So I think it's good for us.
Well, is that something that you're kind of looking forward to seeing how they respond to that these next few games with just the caliber?
Yeah, oh for sure. I mean, this is murderer's row coming up. So.
Kobe, in that 48 minutes, any bright spots offensively and defensively to you that stood out?
Not bright enough. There's some things that we can point out, but at this point, I'd rather just have a bunch of ugly spots and win the game.
Dwight said he probably won't be fully healthy until the end of this month. Are you still waiting for him to kind of break free and become the guy that he has been all these years for?
No, I mean it's tough coming off of that back surgery. It's tough. I mean that's not something that we can just rely on or expect after such a significant surgery. And so it's something that we'll have to kind of just manage around.
Kobe, any thoughts why Powell is struggling so much?
Well, I mean he's playing out of position a little bit. And we'll do a better job getting him down his sweet spots. And at times he is out on the perimeter. He'll knock those shots down and work on them as he's working on them now, and be better at it.
You have a chance to talk to Mike about that whole design?
Yeah, we talked about it. And my stance is the ball, and he agreed with me. Is the ball should be in Steve's hands, should be in Powell's hands. The ball used to be in my hands. You got Steve Nash, who is better at it than I am, so the ball needs to be in his hands. He's an incredible facilitator, so is Powell. So when you have the two best passers at their respective positions, they need to be the guys that have the ball the majority of the time. And myself and Dwight, we're finishers. And I think that's how it should operate.
You've always been the Powell side of these struggles. Just you respect him that much.
I won 2 championships with the man. You know what I mean? It's like we won 2 championships playing through him, really. That's really what we did. We played through him, and so I know what he's capable of doing.
Kobe, you mentioned a
Besides
murderous.
the fact he's a nice guy and I like him.
You mentioned a murderous week coming up. Concerns with Denver coming in tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just happy we're not up in Denver dealing with that altitude. It'll make running with him a little bit easier.
Dwight likes to point out that Shaq, you and Shaq weren't successful his first year that Shaq was here. And
Yeah, but I was also like 16. And Shaq was like 22.
But he seems like willing to kind of give it time.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Don't have enough years.
No. No. But that was a different dynamic. Shaq and I were a different dynamic. That type of duo, it's you're not going to find another duo like that ever. You know, there are other duos who are better than us, mainly in, you know, Pippen and Jordan, but you'll never find a duo with two really big, dominant personalities like myself and Shaquille. Man, that was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
When you look back on it, do you look at it more with disappointment that it couldn't go longer, or amazement that it went as long as it did?
Amazed that it went as long as it did. You know, that just wasn't going to last. You know, you got too many. You know, we're both alpha males, and it was just wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen. I mean, what do you think would happen if you put Jordan with Will? I mean, it's not going to happen.
So there's never any feeling like, oh, like we may have left
No.
championships on the table and stuff like that.
No, I mean, well, yeah, of course, man, we did,
Right.
but
Do you think two alpha males can coexist? I mean, is it
well, we did. I mean, we won 3 straight, you know, but you know, one of them has to sacrifice, and you know, I sacrificed quite a bit. I mean, in individual numbers and MVPs and NBA Finals and all that sort of stuff. We used to, you know, Phil used to come to us as a team and would let me take over during the march to the finals. And then in the finals, you know, because most of those Eastern Conference teams didn't have any centers, we went through Shaq. So, but those are things that I was willing to sacrifice, and you have to have that sacrifice if that dynamic's going to work.
How about you and Dwight? Both alphas.
It's not the same thing.
Why not?
Because that team, it was me and Shaq and a bunch of role players who were excellent role players. You know, here it's me, Dwight, Steve, and Powell. I mean, it's yeah. We just play to each other's strengths. Like I said, like Steve's the best facilitating guard in the league. Powell's the best facilitating big man in the league. The ball goes to those guys, and you allow them to make everybody better, including myself and Dwight. I mean, it's really that simple, man.
Kobe, you mentioned that Powell's a little bit out of position, but you're now back into your natural position because of D'Antoni's system. Talk about your thoughts on that.
I've never been in this position. I mean, this is my natural position. I just never had a chance to be in it. You know, playing with Steve, I really enjoy playing with him. He's just, you know, I'm able to run the wing and kind of be a striker. So it's fun.
What's the one thing that he brings to your game that has been the most obvious to you?
No, it's just his ball handling ability, his passing ability, his intelligence to set guys up and put them in positions, including myself, to be successful.
So we talk about being out of position. Meta's been moved back and forth between being on the 4 and the 3. D'Antoni's still trying to figure it out. How do you think he fits in best?
Meta can play the 1, 2, 3, and 4. And some nights the 5, depending on who we're matching up with. You know, he has a lot of talent. I mean, he can handle the ball, he can shoot, he can post, he can do a myriad of things. So I don't really think it makes that big of a difference. I think the biggest adjustment was when he was coming off the bench and then starting. I think that was a little bit of an adjustment, but in terms of positions, I don't think he has that issue one way or the other.